What's going on, everybody? This is Tyler Weeb from Pro Physique, and today we're going to discuss refeeds. All right, everybody, welcome back Monday after the holidays. I hope you all had a fantastic time celebrating with family, friends, all of that good stuff, eating some stuffing. No turkey for me, I'm more of a ham guy, but I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. So today I wanted to talk about refeeds. So this was a question brought to me by one of my clients, and just wondering, why a refeed? How do we do a refeed? When do I do a refeed? There's a lot of conflicting information out there, and so this is a great topic to talk about because refeeds are a fantastic thing that can be used while dieting and should be utilized while dieting. Now, while we are reversing, we technically don't really need a refeed because calories are pretty much continually going up. We're in a caloric surplus. Now, refeeds are strictly for dieting. And what is the purpose of a refeed? Well, the purpose of a refeed is twofold. Psychological break. Dieting can be a grind. Dieting is a grind. Maybe not so much early on, but as you get deeper and deeper, the calories get lower and lower, the cardio gets higher and higher. It is a grind. It is a hard thing to do. Dieting is not fun. Dieting is not sexy. So a psychological break of having a day where protein is lowered, fats are a bit lower as well, but we get to repurpose those calories into carbs, right? So we do get a bit of a higher day of food. We might get to maybe enjoy something that we haven't really been able to enjoy because of the dieting. So we do get that psychological break. Two, we give the body a physiological break. Now, refeeds for a one-day refeed isn't probably going to be enough to really give you that physiological break. It's more of a psychological break. We start to get more into the physiological break once we start doing a back-to-back refeeds, right? So a 2-day refeed. So we might have 5 low days of, or normal days where our calories are lower, and we might have a double refeed day back-to-back. So what this does is that I would say maybe it tricks the body into thinking, hey, I'm getting more food. And so it doesn't necessarily fully reverse metabolic adaptations to dieting, but it does give you that little bit of bump there, right? Where, the body goes, hey, we're getting a little more food. Let's, recover here. Let's bring down maybe some inflammation. I'm getting more food. So maybe we're getting out of this dieting phase. And so you do maybe keep some of those metabolic adaptations of dieting at bay just a little. Now, you are going to be continually adapting to dieting. Your body's going to be continually, and it's going to get harder and harder as you get leaner and leaner to lose body fat. And so that is where these refeeds can really come into play. They can give you a bit more energy for your training session, right? So maybe, you're just low energy throughout the week, you have your double refeed, boom, we have some solid quality training sessions. Maybe it gives you the energy to, get the majority of your cardio done that day. And so it can give you that little push that you need when you are deep into dieting. So that is why we do a refeed. Now, when should you do a refeed? Now, I would say it can go either or. Typically, I recommend doing these on your hardest day of training, right? This is when you're going to be expanding the most amount of energy. This is when it's going to be the hardest psychologically. And so why not give yourself a little bit of extra food when you are doing your hardest day of training? That is typically what I recommend. But there is an argument and a case to say, hey, let's do these on an off day. Why on an off day? Well, if you are deep into dieting, and you are struggling with recovery from your training sessions, all of that, on a day when you are not training, you're not doing any cardio, when it is a pure recovery day, it's probably a good idea to maybe just have some extra calories to help you with that recovery so that you are ready for your next training sessions, right? So I would say whatever your preference is, experiment with it, play with it, see what works best for you. I don't think there really is any wrong way of going about a refeed in the sense of when to do it. Me personally, I just like doing them when I had some hard training sessions. I found that that gave me a little bit of energy. I know some people, they enjoy doing them on their off days, and so that they do have, that help with recovery, and then that they find that their training sessions, the first 2 days after the refeeds are fantastic, right? And then you kind of taper again, starts to suck, and then you come back, hey, it's refeed again, and then we have that cycle of, you're getting some quality training sessions in. Now, there are also things called diet breaks, and this is also something that can be utilized. This is kind of more of an extended refeed, I guess you could say. So we have our refeeds, usually, 2 days, maybe 3 days, but typically you're looking at the back-to-back refeed. Now, a diet break is typically a week-long refeed, I guess you could say, where we bring our calories up to what your refeed day numbers were, slash cardio in half. Boom, right there. What this does is this really allows the body to recover, allows you to maybe have some really good training sessions, and sometimes we might even see some weight loss during these diet breaks. And so if you see that, you just keep it going, right? The body will adapt, will fight fat loss the deeper you get into your fat loss phase, right? And so by bringing your calories up to refeed numbers, so essentially, nothing high, right? We're not binging, we're not going crazy, like this is still very structured. It allows that body to recover, inflammation to come down, and a little bit of the metabolic adaptations start to reverse again, right? So refeeds, they are a necessity of dieting, psychologically, physiologically. You can do these on your off days, you can do them on your hardest training days. Experiment with that, see what works best for you. And then if you've been dieting for 4, 5, 6 weeks, and you've stalled, look at taking a diet break, right? That can help you start things moving again. You take a diet break for a week and right back into your dieting numbers, right? And that's going to help kind of keep things moving along. So that is going to be everything for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. If you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions that you would like to see answered in future videos, feel free to leave those down below or just shoot me an email. Have a great rest of your Monday.